Welcome children to class 5. Today we shall study first lesson of social science, the globe, a model of the earth. In this lesson we shall be studying about the shape of the earth, the globe, North Pole, South Pole, the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, latitudes, longitudes, and the global grid. Long ago, everyone believed that Earth was flat. They believed that if we traveled to the edges, we would fall off. The Earth appears flat to us because the Earth is so much bigger than us. We can only see short distances at a time. To see the curving surface of the Earth, you would have to climb very high into the sky or into the space from where Earth appears like a round ball. The large size of the Earth makes it difficult for us to study it as a whole. Geographers have developed different means of representing the Earth on a smaller scale to make its study easy. Two important tools that we use for this purpose are globes and maps. The globe is a small model of the Earth. It shows us the shape and location of the continents, oceans, and seas on a smaller scale. Globe can be turned around a line passing through it, which is called the axis. The axis of rotation of the globe is similar to that of the Earth. The axis is not straight, it is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. The two end points of the axis of rotation are called the poles. To the north is the North Pole and to the south is the South Pole. The imaginary line circling around the Earth, dividing it into two equal halves, is known as the equator. To the north of the equator is the northern hemisphere. To the south of the equator is the southern hemisphere. Children, you must have sent your house location to your friend using Google Map. Did you ever observe the numbers of the sent location? These numbers are called the geographical coordinates. To locate places on the globe, horizontal and vertical lines are drawn on it, and these are called latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes and longitudes are marked in degrees and minutes. 60 minutes is equal to 1 degree. Now, let us see what are latitudes, or they are also called parallels. Latitudes are imaginary lines that are drawn round the earth parallel to the equator. They measure the distance of a place north or south of the equator. Equator is marked 0 degrees. The North Pole is marked 90 degrees north. The South Pole is marked 90 degrees south. There are total 181 parallels including the equator. 90 parallels in the northern hemisphere and 90 parallels in the southern hemisphere. Features of latitudes. Latitudes run parallel to each other in the east-west direction. They are at an equal distance from each other. All of them form complete circles except the north and south poles, which are points. The latitudes decrease in length as you move from the equator to the poles. Thus, equator is the longest latitude. Children, observe the latitudes here. Other than equator and poles, there are four important latitudes. Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north, Arctic Circle at 66.5 degrees north, Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south, and Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south. Longitudes or meridians. The imaginary lines that run vertically from North Pole to South Pole are called as longitudes or meridians. The longitude running through the Old Royal Observatory at Greenwich near London is marked 0 degrees. It is called the Greenwich Meridian or the Prime Meridian. There are 360 meridians in all. 180 meridians to the east of the Prime Meridian and 180 meridians to the west of the Prime Meridian. The longitude of a place tells us how much east or west of the Greenwich Meridian the place is located. International date line. The 180 degrees east and 180 degrees west longitudes meet and form a single line on the opposite side of the world called the 180 degrees longitude or the international date line. Features of longitudes. The lines of longitudes are semicircles that run from one pole to the other pole. They run in a true north-south direction. They are spaced furthest apart at the equator and come together to a point at the poles. The global grid. The latitudes and longitudes cut each other at right angles. The latitudes and longitudes together form a network of lines or a grid on the globe. This is known as the global grid. If we know the longitude and latitude of a place, we can locate it accurately on the global grid. Now, let us observe the location coordinates of Washington DC, a place in America. The first numeral always represents the latitude, which is 38 degrees 5 minutes north here, and the second numeral always represents the longitude, which is 77 degrees 1 minute west here. Hope you got an idea as to how to read the location of a place. Now, let us summarize what we have learnt in this chapter. Now we know what is a globe, axis, North Pole and South Pole. We know what is an equator. It's two hemispheres, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. We have learnt about latitudes, their features and few important latitudes. Now we know what is a longitude and their features. Lastly, we have seen what is a global grid and how to locate places on it. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.